What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Silver Surfer from the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. Of course, coming out just in time for the movie. Now, we don't really collect movie figures anymore, so especially, like MCU figures, unless it's something we really like or, something, there's just got to be something special about it. But we did decide to get the Silver Surfer just because, we don't really have much of an actress likeness with this, so we can use it as the Silver Surfer from the comics, the female version, and the same character and all that. So we're going to be using this figure for our comic version to go along with the actual Norrin Rad Silver Surfer. So I'm excited to have that. Looks pretty cool. Comes with a surfboard that looks a little bit too realistic. To me, that's like the biggest downside about this, but it does come with this cool fire effect that we can use, to put it up like on a pedestal sort of thing. We can spin around and see her there on the surfboard. So like I said, this got some like details and stuff to it. Like I said, is the only downside about the figure, but otherwise looks cool. And like I said, we can easily just use this as a comic figure, but I'll of course tell you more about her story from the comics, but I'm excited to check her out. So let me get her out of the box and we'll take a look at her together. So here's Silver Surfer out of the box. So of course this is the female version though, as Shalla-Bal, which was the Empress of planet Zinlaw, where she met and fell in love with Norrin Rad. Norrin would be given the cosmic power and became the Herald of Galactus to spare their planet from his destruction, which would cause long separations between her and Norrin. So in this form, she was just like a normal looking human. She wasn't a Silver Surfer designed like this, and with that she had long lifespan and was also given a small fragment of the power cosmic by Silver Surfer to help restore the life to Zinlaw after one of its partial destructions. But specifically, we see her as a Silver Surfer in the comics from Earth X, which of course is an alternate timeline history. And in this universe, Franklin Richards became Galactus, and he also imbues Shalla-Bal with the power cosmic, making them twin heralds. So we have her and Silver Surfer at the same time as heralds for Galactus. So that's kind of why we got her. Like I said, we're going to use her as that version. Now, of course, this is from the MCU, so she has more of that realistic look to her, but thankfully, because she's just all silver, it's not really noticeable. There are some things I don't like about it, of course, to make it more realistic like that. Like on her eyes, which I'll see how close I can get, is that she has pupils. So you can see pupils in there, where like with all our, other Silver Surfers, they just have all whited out eyes. So that's like the only thing. So of course, if we cared too much, we just take some white paint and paint it in there to sort of get rid of them, but that just sort of makes it look realistic. But otherwise, she looks nice, pretty much how she does in the comics, all silver body, just like Silver Surfer. And then her hair is now all slicked back. Of course, I think in the comics, her hair is a little more like poofy and stuff, where this is just pretty flat back there. It reminds me a lot of the Mystique hair from the X-Men movies and stuff, but just looks good with the all silver body. Now, all our Silver Surfers have pretty much the silver painted body, where this was molded, so I'm pretty sure the whole body is just molded in this silver color, so it has nice swirly like design to it and stuff. And then it looks like, I don't know if it was made in the paint or if they put something on it, there's like some gold on top of it as well with the silver. So there's some gold, like orange, almost like she's like a little rusty or something, sort of coming throughout the body as well. So I just noticed that she does have bare feet, which sometimes Silver Surfers pictured having, or sometimes like the one I'll show you has shoes on, and then just has the newer female body with the pinless double knees and elbows and stuff. So she'll work out fine, just nothing too exciting about this figure. But movement-wise, the head will twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far. So again, her hair's there, sort of pop that off the back. So her hair kind of gets away in the back there, but still pretty good movements for that. We get the shoulders up to 90, that rotates around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint, that'll bend all the way up on itself. Wrist will twist around and flex back and forth. Then we get the upper ab crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. The hips will come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist around. The double knee joint bends up that far to the back. And then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent movements overall. Like I said, nothing unexpected. We've seen this body multiple times before, so no issue with clothes or anything to get in the way. So she has the best movement she possibly can with this body design. Now, accessory-wise, she does come with some additional hands, so she has the two fist hands on there, and so we get a set of magic hands, so I'll probably use these just for using like her powers or riding on the surfboard, sort of having some posed-up hand designs. And she also comes with a hand that when I first saw, I was like, what is this for? But I assume it's a hand that we can switch out, and then she can use it to like cup onto the surfboard, so like hold on to it and stuff. So that's pretty neat that they did throw that hand in there as well. We don't get that with Silver Surfer. But speaking of the surfboard, we do get her surfboard, which, as I said, I don't like the design too much because it doesn't look as comic-y, it looks more realistic, especially with like all the scrape designs and stuff, and you can tell it even has some of that goldish or orange in there. So like I said, it's definitely like a rust or something's going on, and it's a much thicker like surfboard, like wider, I guess I should say, overall compared to Silver Surfer stuff, but still looks cool. And we also get this cool flame effect that we can put it on, so it kind of gives us this nice thing that we can slide it into and sort of holds it up there, so it kind of gives her a nice little base there, so you can have her going down or up. I think going up would be cool, so we can just like take her and put her on it. So there she is on the surfboard. Of course, you can obviously get her posed up and moved around and look much better than I do. I just kind of stuck her on here real quick. So there she is on the surfboard. Like I said, especially with the nice thing to get her up in the air a little bit there on the surfboard. Looks pretty cool. Obviously, we can just have her standing holding the surfboard with her hand that she came with. So there's that. And just want to show a Silver Surfer with her as well. Of course, they have it up on the flight stand that it came with from the Galactus, but we can just pop it off. So there's our Silver Surfer. Like I said, we'll have these two together now, both as the heralds of Galactus. Of course, Silver Surfer, like I said, is more the painted color, so he doesn't have the same designs that she does being molded from the same color, but they don't look too far off. And like I said, especially if we decide to white out her eyes or anything, it'll make her look much more comic accurate and everything. And like I said, you can see the size of the different surfboards and stuff there. So there is the difference. It's not going to be the best combination, but at least it's not horrible. And I do think they look pretty good there together. But of course, now that we have both of them, we can put them with Galactus. So there's our Silver Surfers with Galactus. Of course, hard to fit him in with as big as that Galactus was. But there we have our Shalla-Bal Silver Surfer as well as our Norrin Radd Silver Surfer. So like I said, excited to see her in the movie. Excited to see what they do with the storyline. I assume she's not going to be the Silver Surfer the whole time, especially with the Fantastic Four being set in another universe. And then we saw at the end of Thunderbolts them coming to our universe. So I assume we'll get Norrin Radd version of Silver Surfer in the MCU from then on. But it'll be interesting to see what her storyline is in the movie. But I, like a lot of you, am excited to see the movie, and hopefully it'll be good. But I just wanted to take a look at the Shalla-Bal Silver Surfer here today that will be appearing in the movie, because like I said, we don't buy too many MCU figures, but with the way she looks, we thought we could easily fit her in with our comic figures. So let me know what you thought of Shalla-Bal Silver Surfer down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like, and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.